Welcome to MGTOW Theatre with your host, Ayam Sirias. This is the question of the day. Today's question, brought to you by our grandma. The question is, what is the anatomy of a mangina?
The question of the day is, what is the anatomy of a mangina? So in order to answer that question, we have to tear apart a couple words. The first is anatomy, which is spelled antanomy. And if we take that word, we can see that the first three letters are ant, and an ant looks something like this. It has big pincers, like this, and it looks something like this, I believe, with many legs coming. Oh, wait a second. No, that's wrong. There's no ant in anatomy. No, sorry, let's do that all again. Okay, what we're talking about here is the anatomy of a mangina. And to really break it apart, we have to look at the word mangina. Just like that. Now, in mangina, we have to look at two words, man and gina. Let's take man, for example. Well, man can be very easily symbolized by a cock and a set of balls. Now that is a man. Gina comes from the word vagina, which is something like, well, what the female has. It looks something like this. There's the vagina. So the man plus the vagina means it's a mangina. So the anatomy of it looks a little bit like a man with his cock and balls plus the vagina, as we pointed out before. This is a mangina. Cock and balls plus the vagina equals the mangina. What does it look like, you say? Well, it looks a lot like a guy with no balls and no dick. And he likes to pander to the pussy. He loves to pander to this, the pussy. He loves it when all the world revolves around the pussy. And the pussy could be hairy, or it could be clean shaven. We can erase all of that and have a clean shaven pussy. But regardless, he is still a mangina with his balls, his hairy little balls, kind of looking like an ant, and the pussy, whether clean or maybe just a little bit unclean. The man and the vagina. Now this is the anatomy of a mangina. You look at him and his face looks like a normal guy. He doesn't look any different than the rest of us. But he is not a man. He doesn't have boobs and he doesn't have a vagina. He looks much like a man, but in the end, he has a vagina. And maybe his vagina is right here. It's on his brain. That's where his vagina is. So the anatomy of a mangina is someone that looks like a man, that has a cock and balls, but in the end, he's got a big-ass vagina on his forehead and inside his brain. Because that's all that's on his mind. The mangina. He's a little bit out of his mind because the only thing on his mind is the vag. Remember, the vag from vagina. The mangina. And that, my friends, is the answer to the question of the day. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
You have been watching MGTOW Theatre and the question of the day. Submit your question here and have it answered by an angry cock. Powered by the patriarchy.
Yeah.